Thank you again. Thank you again. I will be back throughout the games. This is your boy DJ AZ Strong. Make sure when that QR code pops up that you scan it and put in your fan request. Sounds good? On to you, James.
Ladies and gentlemen, Trinity University, the Southern Athletic Association, and the NCAA promote outstanding sportsmanship by the student-athlete, officials, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial or sexist comments, or other intimidating actions directed to players, coaches, administrators, team representatives, or officials, including singling out anyone by name, number, or position, will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the site of competition and other disciplinary action. Public intoxication as well as possession or consumption of alcoholic beverages and tobacco products is strictly prohibited. Alcohol is permissible in designated areas only. Persons throwing objects or participating in other acts in conflict with good sportsmanship and fair play are subject to rejection. Artificial noisemakers, electric noisemakers, and other deterrents from the game and fair play are prohibited. The SAA fosters a welcoming and inclusive atmosphere and high-quality game day experience during the regular season and conference championships. Thank you for your cooperation. Together we can all contribute to a positive game day environment. We all welcome you all, ladies and gentlemen, to the Southern Athletic Association matchup between the Center College Colonels and the Trinity University Tigers. A special welcome to the fans of the Center College Colonels. Welcome to San Antonio. The Chartwell's concession stand located on the press box side of the field on the lower level. Also restrooms and water fountains located there. You good folks from the center are welcome to use the portable restrooms to your far right, and also the restrooms located in the William H. Bell Athletic Center. That is the building directly behind your grandstands. Let me take a moment to recognize the Trinity football sponsors and advertisers. Centera Private Wealth, the Bombay Bicycle Club, Jefferson Bank, China Beers, Bank of Texas, Ansera Cars, Trucks and RVs, Frost Bank, Community Dining, it's Chartwell's, Estancia del Norte. We appreciate the Lynn Gardner Hospitality Suite, and PAWS, P-A-W-S, Harrison Alumni of the Spirit. Be sure to visit the PAWS merchandise stand on this side of the stadium. Thanks to all for your support of the Tigers. And again, we're welcoming all alumni here for Alumni Weekend 2025. And if I may, I would like to welcome the class of 1975, celebrating its 50th anniversary. I would be celebrating with you, but I will need to wait until next year to make it official. But be that as it may, welcome to all. We're so glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Today's game will be webcast live on the Tiger Network live.trinity.edu. We have with us the Tiger cheerleaders, as always. At halftime, the Prowlers dance team and music by Trinity's #1 DJ, AZ. And in about 45 seconds, we'll have the national anthem. We'll cue you good folks. Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, we ask that you please rise, face the American flag to the north of the field for our national anthem.
Every morning, we rise, ready to meet our human potential, to take that next incremental step, to do the hard work that changes. Set in our preparedness and confidence in that moment when you know, I've got this. And then we rise. Each of us, all of us. We rise as passions coalesce in research, art, athletics, and beyond. We rise to the challenge of inquiry and discovery through undergraduate research and hands-on learning. We rise through the personal attention of a small college fueled by large university resources. We rise to the need for listening across differences, teaching the art and the act of conversation. We rise to the sounds of a vibrant, diverse, and culturally rich city, and we reflect it. At Trinity University, we recognize that you are here because you are ready to rise. And through a love of learning and a life of learning, we will challenge you to always reach beyond the horizon. Because your future awaits.
Expected. But what truly sets us apart is our culture, belief in education through athletics, a standard that's as high as the goals we set.
Number 3, defensive back, Anthony Joku. Number 10, the punter, Tyson Hope. Coaching staff, associate head coach, defensive coordinator, Paul Mahalik. Assistant coaches, Wade Lytle, Jeremy Gazella, Quentin Carter, Brent Stewart, Austin Growler, Joshua Cook, Ryan Dawson, Rob Joenkamp, Dave Bowden, Cameron Miller, Tyler Christian, Joseph Pascarella, Christian Haynes, Quincy Williams, and John Paul White. Head coach of the Tigers, Jeremy Urban.
It's Alumni Weekend here in San Antonio, Texas, as we're all set for an SAA battle between the Center College Colonels and the Trinity University Tigers. Our on-field cam will get you the coin toss. We'll see who starts with the football as we get underway here in San Antonio.
Center wins the toss, and this thing doesn't work. Will receive. Still doesn't work.
.76 degrees, partly cloudy here in San Antonio, Texas. Center has won the toss. They elected to defer to the second half, so the Trinity offense will begin this game with the football. Hello, everybody. Welcome in to San Antonio, Texas. I'm Cole Isaacson, joined alongside Andrew Thomas. Andrew, these two teams met just a year ago and a little bit of extra days. Center taking that game 24-12. Trinity started that year 2-2. How do they change the outcome in this game and get to what it's been like more before that matchup last year against Center?
Well, so far this season, the Trinity Tigers really been dominant on all sides of the ball, defensively, offensively, special teams as well, really been firing all cylinders. On the side, the Colonels, also very good team this year. We got the chance to talk to Colonel head coach, and, he was like 3-3 is a little bit of an unfamiliar situation for them so far, but nonetheless, they came to play down here in San Antonio, Texas today.
Center's last losing season came in 2004, a 3-3 start to the year, coming off of what Coach Fry called a bit of an ugly win against Southwestern, 19-16. They were up 10 at halftime, let it slip away a little bit, getting a game-sealing fumble on Southwestern's final drive. Andrew, Center's been going through it a little bit, but they're still 3-3. A win today would get them a lot closer to where they want to be at the top of the SAA.
Definitely. So far as it stands, the SAA rankings are as follows. Barry, number 1, 3-0. Maryville, Trinity, Millsaps, and Center are all 2-1. They're four-way tie for second. Now, towards the bottom, it gets a little dicier. Southwestern 1-2. Swanee 0-3. Rhodes 0-3. Now, if you tuned in last week, the Trinity Tigers played Rhodes here at home. And it was a very commanding, dominant win overall for the Tigers.
Trinity coming off a game where they had over 740 yards of offense, a historic game, a school record for yards of offense, over 400 of those on the ground. And Andrew, they'll look to keep that momentum going on the ground in particular.
So we got to talk to Urban this past week. He had nothing but good things to say about all the running backs we got to play. We had 5 or 6 different running backs coming for the Tigers last week, and a lot of young new faces. Luke Sams is one of those, number 26. We've seen him have a phenomenal season so far. Jack Kaiser, number 33 as well. He's also had a very good season so far.
Teams get set to take the field. As mentioned earlier, for those of you just joining us, Center won the toss. They have elected to defer. This is a matchup of two excellent head coaches who have been with their programs for over a decade now. On the Trinity side, Jeremy Urban in his 12th season as head coach of the Tigers, a 2003 graduate, had a 9-year NFL career. Was also a very stellar track athlete here at Trinity. On the other side, head coach Andy Fry of Center in his 28th season with the Colonels, the winningest coach in program history, over 180 total victories with Center. Last losing season was in 2004. Sustained success for both of these programs in this conference. They split the SAA title in a 3-way tie with Barry at the top of the conference last season. Barry right now has that spot all to themselves. Winner of this game, maybe a chance to challenge them. An important one in the SAA. We're underway from One Trinity Place in San Antonio, Texas. As Nickelberry will let that kick go over his head and into the end zone for a touchback, and it'll set up this Trinity offense at the 25. We mentioned the historic outing that they just had. They're led out by their quarterback, sophomore Hondo Franklin. Comes into this game with 71% completion percentage, over 1,100 passing yards, 12 passing touchdowns, and only the 3 interceptions. Coming off of a game where he just really played 2 quarters, 17 of 25, 260 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the 1 pick versus Rhodes. As they'll look to keep things going, they have it with 1st and 10. Zay Huerta, the back, and we talked about the stable of running backs they have. We'll see a lot of these rotate throughout the day for the Tigers. First play is a keeper with Franklin going on the edge along the near sideline, and he breaks free past the 50. Franklin inside the 30 and out of bounds at the 25. So Hondo Franklin on a read option goes from 25 to 25. What a start for the Tigers.
What do you get another look at there? Hondo Franklin does a very good job. Kind of fakes the handoff, gets the camera operator a little confused there. Maybe a little bit of nerves, a little confusion there, but Hondo Franklin does a very good job, able to beat one defender, cuts right towards the sideline. He had a right open lane if he cut towards the right. Nonetheless, he still cut and got good guards.
Hey, he fooled me for a second, too. I thought Huerta had the ball, and apparently so did center as Hondo Franklin was running free down the sideline. Ball spotted exactly at the 25. Trinity just outside the red zone. Franklin keeps it again. This time looks to throw. Lofting one down the sideline for Huerta, but incomplete. That ball just a little bit out of bounds. It's interesting, Andrew. We talked to Coach Urban about what other teams think about his team and his offense because the quarterbacks have had so many rushing yards this year. They think they're doing a lot of read option stuff, and he said, really, we haven't. It's just been creative plays in the scramble drill. That time it was a read option right on the first play.
One thing you're going to see a lot today is, Hondo Franklin does a very good job at controlling his pocket, as we just saw there on the run, as Cole just talked about.
Second down and 10 after the incompletion. Milo now in the game at back. Play action. Franklin will pump and takes it again. Slides just outside the 20 at the 21. A gain of 4.
Hondo Franklin there, a little bit of confusion maybe as, he had the opportunity to hand off the ball, decided not to hand it off. He's kind of looking downfield, didn't really see anything. Tried to, kind of maybe find a man. Ultimately got pressure right in front of him and decided, hey, I have to take off here.
The gain of 4 brings up 3rd down and 6. First 3rd down of the game for Trinity. Only on their 4th play of this drive already at the center 21. They'll throw again, facing some pressure over the middle, and that pass incomplete to Nickelberry. It's skipped in, and Trinity, it looks like, will settle for a field goal attempt.
Definitely not the way the Tigers want to open this, finish this opening drive. Nonetheless, Hondo Franklin there, there's a lot of, pass rushers around him. The O-line did a very good job able to spread it out as we got another relook at that throw. Just a little below as we look at Hayden Rhodes.
This attempt will be from 31 yards out. Rhodes 5 of 8 on field goal attempts on the season, is long from 48. Whistle blows. Kick is up, but the play stopped, so that's not going to count. We'll see what that was about. The play clock was winding down on that. Looked like Trinity just barely got it off. Now some confusion on the field. Maybe they had the wrong football as they cycle another one in. Looked like for a second Trinity might have called a timeout, and that's why play stopped, but everybody's still out onto the field.
Here we go again. 38-yard attempt.
So this attempt will be from 38, and we will go again. To give Trinity the early lead. No good, wide to the left. So center, after giving up the long run to Hondo Franklin, ends up surrendering 0 points. What a start for them defensively.
Definitely. The center Colonels did a really good job. Look at the kick there. That ball on that kick just kind of skidded into the hands of the holder. Don't know if that had anything to do with it, but it didn't look like they were fully prepared or fully focused on that one. But nonetheless, center Colonels did a very good job to stop the Tigers. We saw the Hondo Franklin early run really set up a promising outlook there. Unfortunately, fortunately for the Colonels, they were able to batter the hatches and defend the fort.
Now center set up with 1st down and 10. They'll give it up the middle, but nowhere to go. TJ Scannell all over that play, and that's something we've seen a lot from Trinity. A lot of tackles for loss in the run game behind the line of scrimmage.
TJ Scannell so far has been amazing for the Tigers. We look at him, jumps off the line, just kind of comes through, and there's no one there to block him. All the blockers were already in their own battle.
The center offense led out by their senior quarterback, Jack Goman, threw 3 touchdowns in the game against Trinity a year ago, but this season been a little bit down. 9 touchdowns, 10 interceptions on the year. Trying to clean up the turnovers in this game. 2nd down and 12 after the run play went for negative yardage. Goman will roll out, throw a little bit across his body, and the catch is made. Still working his way forward towards the 1st down marker.
Looked like number 3, Travis Mafair there on the catch, as we're going to get a look at here. Does a good job, looks downfield, find his man wide open. Tigers may be running cover today, not quite on man just yet. Thing to note is we got to talk to the Trinity Tiger defensive head coach, is the different schemes they'll have, and we'll be pointing that out as the day goes on.
1st down and 10. The 32 give up the middle, trying to bounce it to the edge, and eventually knocked out of bounds. That's one thing center's been struggling with throughout the season. The run game not quite where it needs to be, only averaging about 70 yards per game this season. They're going to want to get that going a little bit in this one against Trinity.
Trinity defense so far, on the run, as we just talked about earlier, we get to talk about some of the schemes that are going to happen today. The run defense so far has been incredibly solid. As we talked to the defensive head coach, he said, the whole thing is don't let them run the ball.
That's their philosophy. Stop the run first, and then you can stop everything else. 2nd down and 7 after the 3-yard carry. Goman floats one down the sideline and incomplete. Looking for his man, Blake Busen. Center's leading receiver, averaging 90 yards receiving per game this year.
Goman did a good job. He had not much time in the pocket as Tigers were all over him. He's going to look at there. Goman's pass there, just maybe a couple of strides in front of his receiver.
3rd down and 7 now after the incompletion. Tyler Blythe is the running back for center. Trinity's defense trying to make a stand after the missed field goal. They bring some pressure. Scannell coming in, and the throw away and incomplete. And Njoku diving for it, trying to make the interception, but Trinity able to force the punt.
Scannell kind of came out of nowhere there. So the blockers were already kind of in the trenches in a battle, and he kind of jumped off the line, came off towards the right-hand side, really showing off the athleticism and his speed there. He came right in the face of Goman, forcing him to have to throw it off and caused the big 4th down stop.
So center will punt. Will Bohm from Louisville, Kentucky, the junior, gets this one away cleanly. A good spiraling kick. Sends Nickelberry back inside his 20, and he'll just jog out of bounds at the 21. That's where Trinity's offense will take over for the 2nd drive. And Andrew, it was kind of an unorthodox one. They ended up with a field goal attempt and a pretty manageable one because of the big gain by Hondo Franklin, but in many ways it felt like a 3 and out because they just had the one play and then didn't get a 1st down after that.
Still, though, the Tigers are, we've kind of seen in the past couple games, in the first and 2nd half, they're a little slow offensively, more or less, but, once they heat up, they really heat up and they really get going.
Saw the stats on your screen. Those numbers imported from last week against Rhodes. But you saw the big number, over 700 yards of offense, a school record, trying to find some of that rhythm on this drive. Fake to Huerta. They swing it out to Nickelberry, who makes a man miss, and he'll just hop out of bounds just shy of the 30. Trinity loves to use the perimeter and find screens, particularly to Hancock and Nickelberry, and a little bit Tavares, though they use him downfield. In fact, Tavares going for a 78-yard touchdown last week on a play similar to this.
Indeed, as we see that replay of Nickelberry, they got tripped up maybe a little bit by his on blocker, possibly.
They call it a gain of 7, 2nd down and 3. Ball spotted at the 27. Here's a give. Huerta trying to make something happen, but just nowhere to go. 3 center kernels in there to make the stop. Set up 3rd down and somewhat manageable for Trinity.
It's very uncommon there for Huerta. So far this season, he's really been dominating. You know, he's able to make a lot of good cuts, find good alleys, good avenues to get downfield and pick up big yardage. So far today, really haven't seen that much out of him.
They call it a loss of 1. So 3rd down and 4 now, under 10 minutes remaining in this opening frame. Milo the back for Trinity. Franklin, kind of a messy pocket, and he's going to go down. Temes Kasai in there to get the sack for center, and they get a 3 and out.
Looked like number 55, Connor Keel there, was the main blocker that got beat off the line, pushed down in that kind of fight, which allowed for Hondo Franklin to get in, well, to get sacked hard.
A 3 and out. Tyson Bope on to punt. He got a week off last week. Sends it away, gets hit on the play, and the flag will come down. This return not going very far for center, spotted at the 30, but the main concern on this play, the multiple flags down after the hit on Tyson Bope. We'll see if it's enough for a Trinity first down or not.
Running into the kicker.
We're going to look at it here. Tyson Bope, good job to get it off, 1-2. In the mix, though, Colonel comes in kind of head first, diving for his leg, hits him, brings him down hard.
Both teams on the sideline waiting to see if they'll need their offense or their defense. As the official has yet to make a call. He started to say running into the kicker before he stopped himself. And if it's running into the kicker, that should be a 5-yard penalty, which would not be enough to give Trinity the first down, and center would retain possession. See what the call actually ends up being. The officials are jogging to the other side of the field, which would lead us to believe that center's offense will take the field.
So we see the Tiger defense come on. Cole, you're exactly correct.
So Trinity just taking that after the kick. It can be tough to interpret these penalties sometimes. These officials don't have mics that are accessible to us in the broadcast, so it can be hard to hear them, and we have to kind of decipher what it is based on what happens after the play. Sometimes absolutely nothing happens and they stop the game for no reason, which is always interesting, but this time logical progression. Center has the ball just 5 yards further back than they would have had it originally.
We've seen quite a few of those kind of random stops by the officials, so far this season already.
So they back it up 5, and center will take over at their own 25. So just barely avoiding the plant leg of Tyson Bope, and that is the rule. Roughing the kicker is when you knock out the plant leg of the punter. So after the 3 and out, Jack Goman and the center offense will take over. It's a give up the middle, looking for any space. A nice cut made. Looked like Blythe on the carry, getting about 7 out of that, taking it past the 30.
Anthony Njoku there did a very good job. He's going to look at that run. Kind of didn't really have a lane, cut up a little bit, made a couple Tigers miss. Then Anthony Njoku ultimately came down, wrapped his leg, brought him down hard. But if he hadn't been there, he could have easily gotten the first down and some.
See the initial penetration that you get so often with this Tigers defensive front, but Blythe able to make some moves and make that a very positive play. They actually call it a gain of 8. So 2nd down and 2. They give it to him again, diving forward, and does have enough for the first down, it looks like.
Tyler Blythe up the middle. Tackled by Jackson Pressmeyer.
Look at here. Blythe does a very good job. Not much room for him there, but he's able to get some out of it and pick up the first down and keep the chains moving for the Colonels. As they're looking to put the first points up on the board so far today.
It was Clint Stansberry that began the year as the starting running back for center, listed that way on the 2-deep still, but Blythe has been outpacing him in the carries department by a substantial amount this season. He's still in the game as Goman will throw this time. Lofts one down the sideline and incomplete. Good coverage by Delvin Gant on that play. 2nd down and 10 coming up.
Delvin Gant, what a player. What a run there from the man, as we're going to see Jack found his man downfield. You know, put a very good ball in there, very good ball. You know, receiver could have cut up and cut right in, but Delvin Gant did a good job to kind of body block him. No PI, thankfully, but able to just get that incomplete.
Pass intended for Cree Ross, the junior receiver. 2nd and 10 for center. They'll give it. And fighting his way forward is Stansberry. Not much doing on that play, maybe a gain of 4. And it brings up 3rd down.
Johnny Hunter on the carry.
Now look at here, just a lot of sea of bodies there, not much room there, a lot of red all around him. The Colonels tried to kind of push him forward a little bit, but the Tigers ultimately were able to pick him up and bring him down there.
It was actually Gianni Hunter on the carry, the first year, 3rd on the depth chart for backs in the center offense, his 26th carry of the season. Brings up 3rd down and 6. This crowd on Alumni Weekend beginning to make some noise. They'll give it again. A burst up the middle from Hunter, and he comes up just short. Stopped at the 44, needed the 45, and now it's decision time for Coach Fry.
Now look at here, does a very good job, able to just get all the way right down, because cuts up, doesn't really cut up there, but you know, kind of gets forced down more or less.
And Coach Fry electing to punt here. So 2 drives, 2 stops for this Trinity defense. It should be noted that when center was here 2 years ago, they did execute a fake punt and get a 1st down out of it. I'm sure that's very much in the mind of Coach Urban and his staff. This time, no trickery, just a punt off the side of his foot. Not a very good one as it hops out of bounds just inside the 30. Based on the spin of it, looked like just rolled off the side of the foot of Bohm, and a break for Trinity with some good field position coming up.
The Trinity Tigers come out of their sideline. One thing that is of note, is really only one receiver so far this season's really kind of stood out to us, or me particularly. He's number 11, Alex Tavares, as Cole kind of talked about earlier. He had off a screenplay, had a 78-yard touchdown last week.
Tavares still looking for his first catch in this game. You saw the excellent replay there, the punt going off the side of the foot, and that's what sets up the Tigers at the 30 with 1st down and 10. Tavares currently at the top of the screen. Franklin going deep. Got a man and a 1st down inside the 40. A diving catch made by Tyson Hancock. Not usually how we see him used down the field, but it worked well there.
Definitely, Tyson Hancock did a very good job able to beat his man off the line. See the flow by Hondo Franklin. Wide open pocket, lots of space. Hancock gets there, beats his man, kind of maybe a little bit in front of him, dives nonetheless, and catches it.
Big gain puts Trinity at center territory. The ball at the 35, and it's Milo trying to take it even further, still churning his legs, and got all he could out of that run, a gain of 4 on 1st down.
Both the Tiger running backs, Johnny Nilo, number 4, and Shea Huerta, number 29, are both very athletic, very aggressive people. You're really going to see them run down the middle a lot today, really just kind of power through and fight on, as we see Johnny Nilo right there, kind of comes forward, has a couple of tackles on him, tries to break him, roll out all the way to his right-hand side and get a couple extra yards.
Ball spotted at the 36, 2nd and 6. Keeper from Franklin, this has worked well before, and it's efficient again as he dives forward inside the 25, down at the 22. It's another Trinity 1st down.
First down on the
The good job there by Hondo Franklin, as you're going to look at here. Hondo Franklin takes the snap, fakes off to Milo. Doesn't really trick any defenders there, but nonetheless is able to use his speed and athleticism to beat them to the first down.
Tigers just outside the red zone for the second time today. On their first drive, were not able to get into the red zone. It was as far as they got. This is a give to Huerta. Trying to punish his way forward. Big pile-up, still going. And eventually falls forward at the 16-yard line. So some punishing runs so far today for both of these backs that you talked about.
It's a great example there of the, kind of aggressiveness and speed and athleticism that both these running backs, possess on the Trinity Tiger side, as we're going to look at here. Huerta does a good job, takes the snap off, kind of runs up, cuts up, tries to find an angle on the right-hand side, isn't quite able to find one, and ultimately just kind of gets pushed forward.
Saw Caleb Bear and a couple of other offensive linemen helping to push their man forward. Franklin rolling out to his left, looking for a man downfield, and eventually just throws it over everybody. Was looking for Trevino there in the corner of the end zone. 3rd and 4 coming up.
Hondo Franklin there, kind of under pressure a little bit as he had a couple of rushers from the Colonel side coming in towards his, his field left-hand side, but his right-hand side. Ultimately had to roll the pocket and try to make a play there to Trevino.
Trinity has yet to convert on 3rd down today, looking for their first one. 3rd and 4. As they'll change the play, all receivers on the left-hand side of the screen moving further towards the sideline. Franklin over the middle, has a man, Trevino. Did he hang on to it? And it looks like he did inside the 10. That'll move the sticks. 1st and goal coming up.
Colonels, there's a lot of pressure on Hondo Franklin. A couple blitzers come in, a couple of them not really guarded. Nonetheless, Franklin did a good job able to find Trevino down the line. And Trevino took a very big hit there, as you're going to look at there. Hondo Franklin, a lot of pressure kind of around him coming towards him. Trevino takes a big hit after that catch.
1st and goal at the 8 after the catch by Trevino, his first of the day. Milo looking for really anything he can get, but there's not much there. Center collapsing well on the run today, as Milo maybe got a yard out of that.
2nd down on the 7.
Red zone has been a strength for Trinity overall this season. Just over 82% on the year in terms of getting points in this area. That's 4th in the conference, 86th in the nation. So a strength overall, but maybe down a little bit where it's been in prior years. Franklin will send Milo to the other side of him. 2nd down and goal. Lobs one to the end zone. Tavares high points the ball and brings it in for the touchdown. That's that basketball background that we were talking about with Coach Urban, able to go get that rebound.
Very good job there by Hondo Franklin, able to find his man. He had 3 receivers on his left-hand side, 1 to his right. Found Tavares. Tavares, very good job, very athletic catch. Able to get up, kind of almost toe drag there as he kind of fell down.
And the alumni loving it. Had to add some fences along that end zone because not enough seats for everybody with everybody in town from these prior classes. Extra point attempt for Hayden Rhodes. Got it, so a measure of redemption after missing that first field goal, but gives us a moment to talk about Alejandro Tavares, who just caught that touchdown. His 8th touchdown of the year, leads the team by far in that category. But we had an interesting conversation with Coach Urban about Tavares and his background in basketball. He said that if he wanted to, he could probably play basketball at the Division III level at a pretty high level just because of his background, and you saw it there, able to high point the football on that catch.
Definitely, Tavares did a very good job able to get up there. We've seen a lot of that so far this season you're just kind of talking about.
Trinity now up 7-0. The 13th touchdown pass of the season by Hondo Franklin. Now center in a bit of a precarious situation, already down. You know they were hoping for a better start. It's tough to go against this Trinity defense. We talked with Coach Fry about some of those challenges, about constantly being in 3rd and long just because of how well they stopped the run. They'll get an opportunity to answer Trinity's long touchdown drive with maybe one of their own. Kick from Rhodes will be short. Ross has a lane. Ross is gonna go untouched into the end zone, and what a response for center. They don't even need to get their offense on the field. A kick return touchdown.
What a play there by the Colonels as we get the replay of it here. Rhodes just kind of puts the ball up high and a little short, as Cole said. And Ross just kind of collects it, finds his lane, and takes off. Very fast, no one touched him, and he's able to run all the way through, just kind of sprinting. Made a lot of very good cuts, a lot of very good blocks there in that return as well.
Cree Ross from Panama City, Florida, who already had a kick return for a touchdown this season, a 100-yard one against Millsaps. His 2nd kickoff return for a touchdown already, and the first Trinity has allowed this season. Extra point. Got it. And this game is tied in the blink of an eye. Very unusual for Trinity to allow something like this.
We're getting another look at Ross's run there. Just a wide open gap. Not a lot of Tigers kind of maybe thought that he was going to go right down the middle as he did there. And really just kind of allowed him to get all the way through, almost running over the ref there on his way in.
Something we've talked about since week 1 with Hayden Rhodes was his ability to maybe not get it quite to the end zone, but the hang time on his kicks being so good that the coverage is able to get down there. Not really the case on that play. Ross had a lot of room to work with. Actually got to catch up with Tyler Huddle on the field, Trinity's kicker for the last 2 seasons. Really everything. Has multiple school records in terms of length for the field goal. But his ability to get touchbacks and consistently get the ball to the end zone was something Coach Urban really appreciated. Loved their kick coverage throughout the previous part of the season, but that's the risk when you consistently have to cover. So now Trinity's offense will get the ball probably sooner than they expected. Go down as around a 90-yard kick return touchdown for Cree Ross. It's now their kickoff specialist, Isaac Johnson, ready to go. A booming kick just shy of the end zone, and Nickelberry will have a shot at this one. Makes a move and gets it just shy of the 30, down at the 28. Still a nice return. Will set up Trinity with some solid field position.
Not much space there for Nickelberry, as we're going to now look at here, or not. Nickelberry, nonetheless, had a man kind of coming right at him unblocked as he was trying to begin his run. So we're going to look at it here. Nickelberry, just kind of had a Colonel right in his face, didn't have much place to cut up, and ultimately tried to make a move. And just had multiple Colonels giving the time, to come in and bring him down.
There was a flag on the play at about the 30-yard line of center. And it looks like they have moved the ball up 5 yards from where Nickelberry was stopped. Unsure what the penalty was, but it looked like it was on center. Maybe an offsides on the kickoff would probably be my best guess. Trinity gets the ball at the 33-yard line. Give to Huerta. Huerta's got a lane. Huerta bounces it to the outside inside the 50. Brought down at the 30. A lot of explosive plays so far in this game. Trinity getting one of their own.
Talked about it a lot today. Zer Huerta as well as Johnny Milo. Zer Huerta there, though. Got a good snap off. Made a very good cut. As you saw, he didn't have a lane off towards his left-hand side, as all the Tiger blockers and Colonels were kind of over there. Found his lane, cut up toward the left-hand side, went all the way down. Got chased down, almost got the ball punched out at the very end, but nonetheless was able to make it.
So Trinity, once again, a big hitter that puts him around the 25. Swing pass to Hancock. He's inside the 20, and scampers out of bounds at about the 18. Gain of 9. Clock winding down in this first quarter. Trinity does not have to snap it if they don't feel like it.
It is second down.
And not a lot of urgency right now.
And 2.
5 seconds left in the quarter. We'll see if they actually get a playoff. And it looks like they won't. So that is how we will switch sides in this one. An entertaining game through 15. Center and Trinity knotted at 7 as we'll take a break on Tiger Network. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. You saw the stats on your screen. Trinity outgaining Center 172 to about 30 yards. Yet the score still tied at 7. Tigers with an opportunity to change that coming into the second quarter. 2nd and 2 to get us going. Ball spotted at the 18-yard line. Trinity in the red zone for the 3rd time today. Play clock now under 10. They get it off. Give to Kaiser, spinning away. Spins again, and he stays on his feet. Kaiser with another move. Trying to power his way for the final 4 yards. It comes up just short, but what a run for the first year.
Talked about a lot today, but the Trinity run game, I actually mentioned Jack Kaiser at the start of the broadcast as we get a look at here. Jack Kaiser, 1 spin, 2 spin, keeps going. Hondo Franklin did a good job, kind of help pushing him, keeping up back on his feet. Got a block off and helped Kaiser maybe get extra yards. They try to march on in the end zone here.
1 spin, 2 spin, red spin, blue spin. 1st and goal at the 4. And Kaiser probably deservingly so still in the game. One of many running back options the Tigers have. He gets the ball again, tries to make a cut, and dives just short, maybe at the 1.5-yard line.
Kaiser, not quite the run he just had, but nonetheless a good run at that. Had a little bit of an open lane there, but the Colonels were able to come in, swarm him. Almost tried to kind of lay out for it, ultimately decided just to keep it on close to his body.
And now they'll bring in their power back, so to speak, is actually a tight end, Maddox Morkovsky, who they love to use in these situations. 2nd and goal. Here is Morkovsky trying to get to the edge and eventually lowers his shoulder. Not much doing on that play. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd down and goal now.
Definitely not what we're quite used to when Morkovsky comes in, as Cole just kind of talked about. So far this season, they've really been using Morkovsky just kind of come up the middle, be like, 1st and goal pretty much, and he'll just come up right the middle, come right in, really just kind of maybe jump across a couple defenders on his way in.
Not able to find the end zone on that play. He takes a seat. Johnny Milo's turn to try and get it done. We'll see if they give it to him on 3rd and goal. Franklin will throw. Lofts one high to the end zone and incomplete. Not in the direction of really anyone, and Franklin takes a seat on that play. And Trinity will elect to go with a short field goal now.
Look at that right there. Hunter Franklin, maybe part of that fact the ball kind of went over his head was he was getting hit while he was trying to throw the ball. A lot of pressure around him. Didn't really have any wide open receivers. He had 3 off to his kind of right-hand side. He had Trevino off to his left-hand side, but no one was really right open.
Now Hayden Rhodes missed from 38 earlier in this game. This basically an extra point. Puts it through the posts, and Trinity takes back the lead. A long drive, but it stalls at the 1-yard line. Tigers settle for 3 and have a 10-7 lead.
2-yard field goal. Tigers lead 10-7. 12:40 remaining in the first half.
Welcome back. Overcast skies in the Alamo City as the Tigers have the 10-7 lead after a long drive that ends up in 3. Jackson Runyon kicks it away. And a nice kick that forces center to field it basically in the corner. But a nice return, able to escape some tacklers. Eventually brought down out of bounds at the 32, making something out of what was really nothing. Tyler Blythe, the running back, getting the return on that play.
Probably Blythe did a very good job there as he kind of spun around once he got the ball in his hands. Don't quite know what that was about, but nonetheless, kind of seems to spin around there. A couple of Tigers come in. He makes 1 or 2 tackles miss there. One right in front of his face, another one right behind him trying to trip him up. So he's able to kind of keep going up and help the Colonels start this drive off strong.
1st and 10 at the 32 for center. They give it to Hunter. We've seen a lot of him today. Dives just shy of the 40 at the 38, a respectable gain on 1st down. And it looks like center's trying to get this run game going. Talking to Coach Fry about that, he said in order to beat Trinity, you really have to throw the ball just because of how often you're in 3rd and 8+, because of how well they stop the run. Today, center hasn't really been in those situations.
So far today, the run game, they've been picking up big yards at a time, but, just kind of chipping away at it, trying to get towards that 1st down we just saw in that last run. And
2nd down and 4. Gilman escapes. Wobodo still rolling and will just wisely throw it out of bounds. Had nobody open downfield.
One thing that is of note against Rhodes, Trinity was really kind of sending the house, really blitzing really heavily. A lot of rushers in the Rhodes quarterback's face. Now that play kind of very similar, as Gilman had 1 or 2, 3 Tigers just kind of jump off the line of scrimmage, get right in his face, kind of force him to roll out of the pocket and try to make a play.
That was something we talked to defensive coordinator Coach Paul Mahalik and Jeremy Urban about. Was the plan to really be aggressive against first-year quarterback Rhodes in a bit of a tough situation last week, down to their 3rd-string guy. 3rd down and 4, flag thrown immediately, ball tipped in the air, and was it caught? Busen seems to think he had it, and the official agrees. Caught off the tip, but still have to see what the flag is. Coach Urban on the sideline pointing in the direction of center. He seems convinced. We'll see the replay here.
Busen does a very good job, just kind of gets one hand under it, able to take it in.
Officials still discussing, and we'll see what it is. The play stands. It's a 1st down for center.
Illegal shift over here.
But it will not. An illegal shift on center. So that'll back him up 5. 3rd down and 9 now coming up.
It's 3rd down. It's 3rd down.
was an
We're going back
athletic
5
play
and
by
it's third down.
Busen.
Back
Saw the
5 and it's
replay. It
third
looked
down.
like he did get his hand under that football. Nothing Trinity could do if he didn't. Not a challengeable play, but still a nice one by Busen as the chain gang will work their way back.
Was that
They'd already
incomplete
gone
pass?
forward as they thought the ball was caught, and center had converted on third down. Now in a situation they wanted to avoid, 3rd down and 9. Gilman under pressure, and eventually he goes down. It was Wobodo who had him eventually. And TJ Scannell helping his teammate to finish the job. Tigers get the sack on 3rd.
Now look at here. Gilman doesn't really have much time. Kind of looking downfield. Tigers get on him. TJ Scannell, ultimately, the big hit that took him down there, just kind of came in. You know, he was kind of playing in a spy role, kind of, you know, looking at the quarterback and found him and took him down.
Center punting for the 3rd time today. This one a much better kick. Will land at the 25. Nickelberry just lets it go, and center decides to field it at the 24. That's where Trinity will start their next drive. Andrew, they've moved the ball pretty well on most of these possessions. They've had the ball in the center 25 3 different times, with only 10 points, outgaining center by a lot. It's pretty similar to how they did against Rhodes. But the points not really there to show for it. What do you make of that?
Well, it might be a little bit of jitters considering it is alumni weekend. There's a lot of, you know, a lot of fans in the stadium today, a lot of people here, but also, you know, maybe just a little bit of struggles as, you know, they just went against Rhodes last week and it wasn't the toughest opponent they've played, and, you know, center's more of a worthy opponent for the Tigers.
It's a big conference game for both teams. Give to Huerta, and not a lot happening. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Center's done a good job stuffing the run today.
Both these defensive units, you know, run-wise, really good. You know, kind of mimicking each other as we get to look at it here. The Colonels did a good job. Huerta's, you know, as we talked about, very aggressive back, very agile back, and really just kind of got in there and brought him down hard.
2nd down and 9 after the gain of 1. Franklin, under some pressure, has to maneuver in the pocket, escapes somehow, throws off his back foot towards the sideline, incomplete. Had a couple of different options. Looked like it was actually for Cade Ramirez, but Tyson Hancock came in to try and get his feet in bounds, just couldn't make the catch.
Hunter Franklin did a good job able to break that initial tackle. Getting a look at here. Franklin had a man on him, kind of got held up, rolled out of the pocket, tried to find his man, and as Cole talked about, Cade Ramirez and Tyson Hancock just kind of collided there. Ultimately, neither of them came down with the ball.
Hancock not happy he couldn't hold that in. Sets up 3rd and 9. Franklin with some time, hit as he throws down the middle, and it's intercepted. Center getting the takeaway and the return all the way inside the 40. A big play for the Colonels.
We're going to look at here. Honda Franklin had a decent amount of time to throw. Had a man come in at the very end. That throw there intended for Sebastian Trevino, kind of in triple coverage more or less. 2-man, 1 off to his side. And ultimately, Colonels were able to take that away. Very uncharacteristic from Hondo there.
That's Brown Hamlin getting the interception. The sophomore defensive back. And now center set up with some good field position, but Priestmeyer in to make the play on Blythe. We see him do that once or twice a game, just untouched into the backfield. A big loss on 1st down. They call it a loss of 4.
So far today, we've seen a lot of, as we see Priestmeyer one more time, we've seen a lot of Tigers kind of jump off the line early and fast, trying to make plays. That time successful.
2nd down and 14. Colonels trying to cash in off the turnover. Their 10th takeaway of the year by this defense. Goman quickly, and that pass is caught. Working his way down to the 35-yard line. Danton Bowling making his first catch of the game.
Bowling there, just kind of by himself, is going to look at here. Goman finds his man. Bowling was wide open. 3 Tigers right behind him, none on him. Is he able to get that catch and get closer to the first down?
Ball spotted at the 34. Center getting a lot of that yardage back that they lost on the Priestmeyer tackle. Now 3rd down and 4. Center on the season only converting on 3rd down 26% of the time, hoping to get that up here. Goman off his back foot finds Blythe, who makes a move and does enough to get the first down. Had he been tackled where he caught the ball, I'm not sure if he gets it or not. Able to make a Tiger miss and move the chains for the Colonels.
So far in the drive, the Colonels have been very methodical. Just kind of a couple little bit of short dump-off passes here and there, a couple of short runs, trying to get that first down, keep the chain moving.
Colonels converting on 3rd down there. They now have it at the Trinity 27. Trying to capitalize on the interception. Hunter trying to push his way forward. A couple of teammates trying to help him out. Eventually gets to the 22. Center running the ball quite well so far, able to put themselves in these 3rd and manageable situations eventually. I talked with Coach Urban about his own team's success on 3rd down. He said it starts by winning 1st and 2nd down.
Almost a good run there by the Colonels. A lot of Tigers on him. Able to get 1 or 2 extra yards after getting that sea of Tigers.
2nd down and 5. Goman keeps it and not getting very far. Judson Crockett and a couple of his teammates there to make the stop on what looked like a read option play.
Judson Crockett so far has been relatively quiet. Nonetheless, so far in the season, he's 2nd on the team for tackles. And really has had a phenomenal season. He was SAA Defensive Player of the Week a couple weeks ago. He's really been a transfer impact so far for the Tigers.
Transfer from TCU had 2 fumble return for touchdowns in the same game against Southwestern, getting him the Defensive Player of the Week honors that you talked about in the SAA. Another 3rd down and 4 on this drive. This one just outside the 20. Goman off his back foot finds Blythe again. Tough to see if he had enough for the first down from our angle. Looked like he might have, but there is a flag on the play. And we'll see if this is another procedural penalty against Center.
Offside. Trinity number 30. 5-yard penalty results in a center first down.
And it's offsides on Trinity, so that will happily be declined. Wakil Mateen jumping off there.
A little bit of uncharacteristic there from the starters on the Trinity defenses. We talked to Urban, and, we've seen it so far this season. A lot of penalties for the Tigers, but not really, on the defensive starters so far.
Catch by Blythe takes Center down to the 16-yard line. Clock ticked towards 5 minutes to go in the quarter. Goman drops the ball. Did he fall on it? No, he didn't. Trinity football. A catastrophic mistake by the senior quarterback, dropping the snap. Couldn't fall on top of it. Trinity takes over.
We're going to look at there. Goman takes the snap, kind of fumbles it too close to his face. Doesn't really have his hands fully on it there. The Tigers did a good job. Got down. Don't quite know which Tiger had it.
Looked like maybe Dorian Hill. I saw a 2 flash into the frame. The camera kind of blurred the second that we saw who was going to fall on it. Looked like Goman had it for a second, just not quite able to reel it in. Priestmeyer and Wakil Mateen hopping in, able to punch that football away from him before he could get possession. Here's a give to Milo. Maybe a gain of 2. But Trinity's defense coming away with the takeaway, and we talked to defensive coordinator Paul Mahalik about that this week. Tigers not getting a takeaway versus Rhodes, which was surprising considering how much the Lynx have given away the ball this year. But still 13 takeaways for this defense this season, second in the conference, 38th in the nation. And Mahalik talked about Trinity's mentality of attacking the football. Didn't really have to do that on that play, but able to have an aggressive presence to get the recovery. Franklin will throw on second down, lofts one towards the sideline, and the catch is made in bounds. Nickelberry just shy of the 40. It's enough for the first down.
Franklin there had a lot of time to throw, not a lot of pressure. Huge pocket, as we're going to look at here. A lot of blockers, good time to throw. Found Nickelberry. Nickelberry had to jump for that a little bit. You know, looked very, a little bit over his head there as he kind of arc across the field.
Nickelberry, another guy that Coach Urban said had a pretty prolific background in basketball, along with Tavares, putting those skills to work. Franklin keeps it, bursts up the middle, just shy of the 45. A couple of times we've seen him do that, maybe a new wrinkle in the offense for this week.
We got the chance to talk to Coach Urban a couple weeks ago. Actually mentioned, you know, he's going to put a couple trick plays here, kind of pull a couple cats out of the hat today against center, you know, maybe to put on a show for the alumni here today.
Yeah, he talked about that, and that was in reference to the game plan against Rhodes, where he said it was going to be pretty vanilla. Next thing you know, Tyson Hancock's throwing a touchdown, and we're like, where did that come from? You said that was for next week. We'll see if we see anything like that today. 2nd and 4. Plenty of time for Franklin. Didn't like what he saw, and he'll keep it. Tucks and runs, and knocked out of bounds just shy of the 50. Official right there. Crowd groaning. They want to call for the hit on their quarterback. Tough to see if he was out of bounds or not when the hit was laid from our angle. We'll have to see what the replay says.
Look at here. Hondo Franklin had time in the pocket, just really find an open receiver, decided to take it and run with it. He goes down the field, makes a cut. Now they're more or less in bounds as he got hit, so not necessarily cause for a penalty.
Looked far more egregious from our vantage point here in the press box. His feet are kind of cut off by the heads of people standing on the sideline. Either way, a first down, give to Kaiser. Maybe a gain of 2. Talked to Coach Urban about Trinity's success on third down, not just this year. They're first in the conference, 9th in the country on third down percentage, clicking at about 54%. But historically, ever since I've been here, really, now I'm in my 4th year being around this team, they've always been such a good third down team, and it starts by winning first and second down, he said. Not able to win first down on that play. Let's see what they do here on second. Franklin fires to the outside, a little high, but Ramirez able to reel it in. Brought down out of bounds at the 36. Clock still winding, as that should take us to the 2-minute timeout.
Hunter Franklin did a very good job there. Had a lot of time in the pocket. Found his man Ramirez. Ramirez kind of had to track kind of further back to find the ball, as he was a little initially kind of in front of the ball. Nonetheless, made a very good athletic catch. Kept the chains moving and, you know, kept the Tiger drive alive.
2 minutes left in this first half of action. As we take a look at some other action going along in the SAA. Millsaps, who's been a little bit of a surprise this season, making it a game with center, actually taking down Maryville last week, getting beat up by Barry College, 29-7 at half there. And there is Maryville on the left-hand side of the screen against Southwestern, who both of these teams are familiar with. Center just beating Southwestern last week. Maryville up 30-6, not even halftime there yet. But the dynamics really interesting now in the SAA. Barry obviously controlling their own destiny, the only team, undefeated team remaining in the SAA, beating Trinity, which is usually their biggest test of the year. Trinity needs them to lose at some point, and they were in a very similar position with center last year, having lost to center early in the year. They needed somebody to take out center. That team ended up being Barry, and that's how we got to that three-way tie after Trinity was able to beat Barry in a wild one here. Fitting that we saw Tyler Huddle before the game. He knocked in the game winner for that one in overtime.
That game was also during Alumni Weekend, so about a year ago today.
1st and 10 coming out of the 2-minute timeout. Franklin facing some free rushers, gets it to Nickelberry, but a nice play made. Looked like he had blockers. Center able to come in and disturb it. Ends up being a no gain.
That play there, as we begin to look at here, center kind of sent the house as he had 2 or 3 kernels on Franklin, and Nickelberry tried to make something happen, but the throw maybe a little low and just kind of had to sit on it.
Give to Milo, and he's got some space. Taking it towards the near sideline, has the first down and more. Out of bounds at the 18. And there's the Trinity run game showing up.
Look at Milo's run one more time. Does a very good job. Kind of looks forward, doesn't quite find an angle, cuts off to his left-hand side, just kind of takes off with it. Able to pick up a couple extra yards there.
Trinity cycling through the running backs as they do. Urban saying that you see flashes from all these guys at different points throughout the air. There's a flash from Milo. Sets him up inside the 20 with 1:22 on the clock. Center blitzing. Over the middle, it's Tavares. Strong hands, able to bring it in. Inside the 10 at the 9. And now, Andrew, the clock becomes a factor. Trinity, if they have it their way, will score with no time left for center to go the other way and do something. Tigers not calling timeout. They're set up with a minute to play. Still over 25 seconds on the play clock. They snap it anyways. Franklin pumps, lofts it to the corner of the end zone and swatted away. Brooks Sapone able to make the play. It looked like defending Hancock.
And Lamont Nickelberry there is able to swat it away at the last second. Nickelberry just kind of right at the back pylon. I don't even know if he could have caught it if Sapone wasn't there.
Incompletion, now 3rd down and 2. Trinity was already stopped at the 1-yard line in this game, so centers had some red zone success here. Schmid going in motion. And now a give. It's Milo. Did he get enough is the question. And he is just short. Maybe less than a yard to that first down marker. Trinity settled for a field goal the last time they were in this situation. Not really getting to the line here, so this would make you think that they're going to settle for a kick again and take this as far as they can.
Timeout, Trinity. It's their first timeout half.
Timeout called by Trinity, so they call timeout with 18 seconds left on the play clock, still leaving themselves 24 seconds if they want to do something. What do you think's going on here, Andrew?
Well, as we kind of talked about earlier, maybe a little bit of trickery is going to happen here, maybe a quarterback sneak of some kind, as we kind of see that last throw by Hondo Franklin right to Tavares. Did a very good job. Tavares so far a little bit quiet, only, really a couple caught passes, one of them being the touchdown earlier on.
See the total yards on your screen. Trinity outgaining center 256 to 45. Complete domination, but special teams has that impact, and the kick return touchdown being the only point center has today, keeping them in this game right now. Trinity an opportunity to extend the lead in whichever fashion they choose. The offense looks like it's starting to make its way onto the field, so Trinity on 4th and less than a yard. Looks like they're going to go for it. Offense on the field coming out of the timeout. The graphic has not updated. Trinity down to 2 timeouts now. So running the ball still an option. 24 seconds on the clock. They give it. Milo. Center all over it. Did he get enough? Clock temporarily stops at 20 seconds. Center seems to think that they made the stand. Officials discussing. We'll see what we can find here on the replay.
Johnny Milo does a good job. Doesn't have much room. Just kind of makes a dive there, as you can see the first down marker on your right-hand side of your screen.
We're going to get a measurement. First time all year we've seen that. If it's short, center takes over on downs, and it is. The Colonels make the stand. A drive that started deep in Trinity's own territory after center turned the ball over on the fumble. His defense makes the stand. They've come to play today, getting the interception, and now the turnover on downs to keep this a 3-point game.
So far, this first half of football has been incredibly competitive.
Colonels take over with 20 seconds, and it looks like they are content to take us to the locker room. Clock will tick down, and will take us to halftime. A competitive first half. Trinity dominating statistically, but not on the scoreboard. The Colonels hanging in there where it counts. As we'll take a break on Tiger Network. Stick around for the second half of action. You're not going to miss how this one finishes. 10-7 Trinity with the lead.
Every morning, we rise, ready to meet our human potential, to take that next incremental step, to do the hard work that changes. Set in our preparedness and confidence in that moment when you know, I've got this. And then we rise. Each of us, all of us. We rise as passions coalesce in research, art, athletics, and beyond. We rise to the challenge of inquiry and discovery through undergraduate research and hands-on learning. We rise through the personal attention of a small college fueled by large university resources. We rise to the need for listening across differences, teaching the art and the act of conversation. We rise to the sounds of a vibrant, diverse, and culturally rich city, and we reflect it. At Trinity University, we recognize that you are here because you are ready to rise. And through a love of learning and a life of learning, we will challenge you to always reach beyond the horizon. Because your future awaits.
Competition reflects our commitment. Greatness isn't occasional, it's expected.
Welcome back for the second half between Center and Trinity. 10-7 the Tigers lead as we start the third quarter. Overcast skies still remain, not really any wind to speak of. But you see the numbers on your screen, Andrew. This has been the theme of the day. Center somehow still hanging in there, only down 3, despite being outgained by over 200 yards in that first half. And the special teams has been a big part of that.
Definitely is, the only points the Colonels have put up so far was a kick return, which was a very athletic one, very fast one as well. Kind of took the Tigers off.
Hayden Rhodes and the rest of this kickoff team ready to go. Center deferred the opening kick, so now they get it to start the second half. Only down 3 points. Another high kick that's a little bit short, and this time a fair catch called for by Ross. I'm sure Trinity was at least relieved to see that hand go in the air after his 90-plus yard kick return for a touchdown.
Colonel so far kind of struggling maybe a little bit offensively. Is so far today they only have 45 yards. You saw it on the screen earlier. Now Trinity offensively has 256 yards. Nonetheless, it's still been a very close game.
Center offense that's been running the ball a lot so far. Only 7 pass attempts from senior quarterback Jack Goman, 3 for 7 in that first half to 3 different receivers. And they run it with Hunter, who's pretty much been the lead back so far. Not a lot of room, but able to fall forward and stretch the football for a gain of 2. And Andrew, that's very much a reversal of what we were expecting. Center coming into this game really leaned on their passing game, averaging 242 pass yards per game, 76 in Division III, only 68.8 rush yards per game. That was 218th in the entire country. But they've come in here with an intention to run the ball.
Yeah, that would lead you to believe that maybe they saw something, in the Trinity run defense film. Kind of think, hey, we can really take advantage of this. So far today, really hasn't been working all too well for them.
2nd down and 8. And they'll run it again with Hunter and nowhere to go. Brought down in the backfield. Azriel Ngacha making the play.
That play right there, a perfect example of how the run game for the Colonels has really kind of been slow today as we look at it here. Ngacha does a good job, able to get across, kind of beat his man, get down, bring him back for a tackle for loss.
They've tried to run the ball a lot coming into this second half. Blythe 5 carries for 13 yards, and Gianni Hunter 4 carries for 20 yards. Now a 3rd and 14. Throwing off his back foot, a screen. As Blythe trying to make some Tigers miss, but needed a lot more than that to get the first down, and a 3 and out for Trinity's defense to start this opening half.
Definitely a very commanding start for the Tigers here as, going into the locker room, they tried to put up some points, weren't quite able to get there.
Now 4th down and 7. Another punt for Center. We've seen a lot of this today. This kick a little bit shorter. Nickelberry does not call fair catch. And it ends up being basically a fair catch. Gets it at the point he caught it at the 32 after he's driven back.
Looked like that was number 33, Jack Kaiser there on the return. So far today, we've kind of seen a little bit of a difference on the punt return between Luke Sams and Jack Kaiser, kind of coming in and out a little bit. Both are very athletic. Luke Sams, we've seen him a lot this season so far. A lot of big returns. Jack Kaiser as well, a lot of big returns.
Sams has yet to return a punt in his Trinity career, but getting worked into that unit. Now Trinity's offense taking the field. Over 250 yards of offense in that first half, but not able to cash in points out of that. They start with a screen. It's Tavares. And a solid gain on first. Gets about half of what he needs. Tavares broke one of those open in the game against Rhodes. A 78-yard touchdown on a screen. Trying to do something similar here.
So we're going to see Tavares there, just kind of gets the ball, tries to do something with it. Wasn't quite able to get there all the way, but nonetheless got a couple extra yards there.
They actually give him 7 on the play. So 2nd down and 3. Huerta the back. They'll throw. Franklin has a man over the middle. Ramirez makes a move, trying to get towards the 50. Brought down at the 47. Plenty for a Trinity first down.
Franklin did a very good job there. Had a lot of space in the pocket. As we see that throw from a different angle this time to Cade Ramirez. Cade Ramirez wide open by himself. Able to try to make one Colonel miss. Another Colonel comes in, takes him down, but nonetheless gets the first down.
Now 1st and 10. Here's another screen. Hancock. Past midfield, out of bounds at the 48. Call it a gain of 4. An interesting note on this Trinity offensive line is the shakeup that occurred last week with 2 new starters, Johnny Conway and Nakia Wilkins-Lee, taking over at left tackle and left guard, respectively. And got to talk to Coach Urban about that. How those 2 really just showed up in practice and in the game moments that they had really took those spots from the people at it before and said it wasn't so much the previous starters losing them, it was more those 2 just rising up and taking them. Good pocket on that last play. Good one again here over the middle. Tavares knocked forward, and that should be enough to get him the first down, and it looks like it is right at the 42.
A couple Colonels there, a little slow to get up as we see that throw from Hunter Franklin one more time. Had lots of time in the pocket, no one around him. Very good block. Tavares just kind of off towards his right-hand side, kind of dumped off, made a little bit of a run.
1st down and 10, only a 3-man rush from center on that last play. See if they do a similar approach here. Play action, a boot. Franklin has his man, a 1st down and more. Brought down inside the 30. So a little bit of creativity, a play action bootleg from Trinity to Chase Revian, the tight end.
Revian did a good job there. Franklin rolled out of the pocket, found his man. Not really anyone on him, but able to get a couple extra yards there, kind of with a Colonel on his back.
So a new face. That's his first catch of the season. Brought down at the 25. So Trinity once again moving the ball. This has been the finishing issue that we've seen. Only 10 points on the board as Franklin pumps, throws one down the field. Incomplete, going for Schmid in the end zone. Just couldn't quite bring it in the back of the end zone.
Looked like number 82, Cade Ramirez as well, as we're going to get another look at Hondo Franklin. Trying to look for Schmid downfield. Now, Cade Ramirez was actually open right before that play. Hondo Franklin kind of wasn't necessarily going for him, not necessarily the scheme towards him, but he was wide open, beat his man off the line.
2nd down and 10 after the incompletion. Tigers trying to parlay a possession down in this area of the field into a touchdown. They've only done it once. Quick throw over the middle. Hancock spun down after a decent gain on 1st at around the 20. Now 3rd down and 5 ensuing.
One thing that is of note is a lot of these screen plays and little dump-off passes that Hondo Franklin has been throwing today as well as all season really just kind of go to Tyson Hancock and Lamont Nickelberry, number 6, number 5, respectively.
See if they try that again here. 3rd down and 5. They go with 4 receivers on this play. Franklin facing pressure, has to escape. Does so, trying to run, and he's got the 1st down and more, stays on his feet and in for the touchdown. Franklin was dead to rights in the backfield, uses his legs, he's done it so well today, gets 6 for Trinity.
My goodness, what a play by Hondo Franklin there, as he had a lot of blitzers. We saw about 5 or 6 Colonels on the line, knew the blitz was coming. Was able to roll out, break one tackle, had a Colonel chasing him the entire way. Just not quite able to make him. The Colonel was there at the end, just kind of a little bit confused. Maybe thought he wasn't going to get in the end zone, but nonetheless, he did.
Hayden Rhodes on for the extra point. Nate Barnhart had him in the backfield. Rhodes' kick is good, but couldn't bring it down. Franklin able to run away from him along the sideline. Andrew, that's probably the most impressive part of the play to me. Not only that he was able to escape from the blitzing linebacker, that he was actually faster than him down the sideline. I feel like that's normally where you get caught, just tripped up along your ankles. Just ran away from everybody on that play.
Seen that a couple times today. You know, on the first opening drive, we saw Hunter Franklin go for a big run, kind of beat his man, beat a couple guys. And, you know, as we talked about a lot today, you know, he's very athletic. He's very smart in the pocket. He's very, you know, agile and fast. And Coach Urban has nothing but good things to say about him, as well as the other offensive starters.
Franklin using his legs on that play, getting Trinity into the end zone. In terms of the rushing numbers, Franklin was actually their leading rusher in the first half, had 76 yards rushing before that play. So sniffing 100 at this point. Puts the Tigers up by 10, 17-7, their largest lead of the game. It's a high kick. Ross will just let it bounce. Doesn't go into the end zone, actually skips out of bounds. We'll see the replay of the touchdown here.
You see Hondo Franklin just kind of runs around, beats his man to the outside, keeps going. Last second there, the Colonels just kind of stopped. Could have made a play, but didn't want to make a play.
So the kick from Rhodes actually takes a very unfortunate bounce. Bounced at the 1 and then goes almost completely sideways out of bounds. So the ball goes up to the 35 for center. Which, interestingly enough, is a touchback in the NFL today, the new rules. That's where Jack Goman will take over. Talked to Coach Fry about a senior signal caller. Said that now with the way the game has changed, everything is on the quarterback's shoulders. Says when Jack goes, we go. Under some immediate pressure, escapes Powell, and now he has some space to run. Takes it past the first down marker and out of bounds at the 46, so a nice play from Goman to get things going on this drive.
It's another example there of the Tigers really being aggressive so far today defensively. You know, a lot of Tigers jumping off the line. That time, Jaden Powell jumped off the line, kind of found no blocker. He was off to his right-hand side, did a good job to escape. And as Goman saw number 0, TJ Scannell coming, ultimately decided, hey, I don't want to get hit right now. I'm going to run out of bounds.
Gain of 11. Another first down coming up from center at the 45. It's a give to the near sideline, Hunter. And not a lot of contact on that run until the very end. Gain of 8. Actually 9 as the official continues to walk forward. Hunter, who was listed on the 2-deep as their third-string running back, has actually played a big part in the offense today.
We're going to see Hunter's run one more time. Does a good job. There's a lot of blockers. Make 1 or 2 cuts there, able to get a couple extra yards there.
Looked like Delvin Gant, the senior corner, giving the finishing shove to force him out of bounds. Second down and 1. Center now in Trinity territory. Play action. Rolling out. Goman throwing it down the sideline. What a throw! Drops it in the bucket to his leading receiver, Blake Busen. Only his second catch of the game. Sets up center with a 1st and goal from the 8.
Very athletic play there by Goman. Was forced out of the pocket pretty much. Find Busen downfield. Busen downfield as Goman rolls out of the pocket. Didn't have that much pressure on him, but a couple Tigers and found Busen right down the field. Busen does a good job able to toe drag.
1st and goal. They'll throw again. Goman too high. Looked like going for Busen again. Turned to the official, wanted a flag for some contact, didn't get it. will set up second and goal. Busen, definitely the guy center needs to get going. In 6 games so far this season, 35 catches, 541 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Last week against Southwestern, 88 yards on 4 catches. Second down and goal. Center trying to answer Trinity's hot start to this half. Hunter trying to spin his way towards the goal line, comes up about 2 yards short. We've already seen center make a couple of stands in 3rd and 4th and short. Trinity trying to match them in this situation.
If you're going to look at the Hunters run right there, is a lot of Tigers came for him, able to outrun or outreach TJ Scannell there as he got closer to the end zone.
A fast-moving 3rd quarter, already down to about 6 minutes. 2 strong drives from both of these offenses, and a flag down immediately.
Illegal substitution, center, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
An illegal substitution, so a pre-snap penalty costing center. We already saw it wipe away a 3rd down conversion in the first half, and now sets them back from pretty much a goal-to-go situation.
Another thing to note is on the defensive side, we had Jaden Powell come in for Ferris Rafai, number 51. So maybe a blitz or some kind of rush going on here. So we see a lot of Tigers there on the line.
Powell still in the game. Now 3rd down and goal from the 7 after the penalty. Goman lobs one for the end zone. In the corner, knocked away and incomplete. Delvin Gant on the coverage. Getting the pass breakup, it looked like against Busen. And Trinity forces a field goal attempt.
We're going to see that one more time. Goman had a good, clean pocket. Delvin Gant, just like Sapone earlier in the game, got up there and was able to defend his man, kind of swung that way at the last second.
Now the field goal attempt for center. Try and get this to a 1-score game once again. It's a short one. And it hits the upright, no good. Hits the right upright. Jack Kennedy misses the kick. And Trinity's defense, after all that, allows nothing.
We're going to see it one more time. This kind of goes up, goes towards the right-hand side, hits the right side of the goalpost, and incomplete. Tigers able to escape there with no points.
So potentially a costly mistake. First you had that illegal formation penalty or illegal substitution penalty that backs them up 5. Don't get it on 3rd down and then miss the field goal. Milo up the middle for Trinity. Gain of 2. But those are the situations where games are won and lost on the margin. We talked to Coach Urban about that all the time, executing. And you've seen that from Trinity in that first half. It was the kick return, the missed field goal, and the stop on 4th down from Milo there on 4th and 1. That's why this game was so close, and right now center feeling it on the other side.
So far, coming out of the locker room, the Tigers have been firing all cylinders.
Trying to continue to do that on 2nd down and 8. Fake to Milo. Plenty of time for Franklin, but it's running out. Now kind of has to throw it off his back foot in the direction of Schmid, but he had no chance of making that catch.
Hondo Franklin didn't have much time to throw there. Kind of looking downfield, there was really no wide open receiver. And a couple Colonels just kind of took advantage of that, jumped on him, and took him down, forcing him to throw the ball away.
Now a 3rd down and 8. Trinity scoring a touchdown on their last possession. They need 8 yards here if they want a chance at doing that again. Milo remains the back. Play clock down to 2. They get it away. Franklin running out of time again. Throws across his body, and he has a man. It's Ramirez who takes a shot, but able to hang on to the football. That's Sapone laying down the law, but Ramirez making the catch for the first down.
We're going to look at here. Another very athletic play there by Honda Franklin. Forced out of the pocket. He's a rusher off to his right-hand side. Found his man downfield. Had multiple Colonels on him. Threw across his body.
And the replay cut out right before that impressive hit from Brooks Sapone. Ball spotted at the 44. First down and 10. Huerta. Not a lot of room. Maybe a gain of a yard as center continues to limit what Trinity's been able to do on the run. Tigers, in terms of rushing offense this season, averaging 215 yards on the ground per game. 30th in Division III football, as you see the hit again from Sapone. But a lot of that inflated because of the Rhodes game. Still a very good rushing offense that's been limited today. Now 2nd down and 8. Franklin steps up, running out of time, and he's going to go down. Maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. They mark it as a loss of 1 and a sack. And it looks like there is a center player down. We'll see the replay of the sack.
See it one more time. Franklin, blitzers everywhere, nowhere to go. Maybe the Colonels being a little more aggressive now with, the defensive schemes they're sending in. Franklin there took a very big hit as he was going down from one of the Colonel players.
And there is a center player down, Adam Wickham, it looks like. He gets up, and some encouragement from his coach right there. Able to walk off the field under his own power. We'll see what happened on the replay. Looked like just got rolled up on there. Down for a little bit, but still gingerly walking off the field. They'll take this next play off at the very least, as they see what's going on with them. The sack from center, setting up 3rd down and 9. Now under 3 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. Trinity up 10. Franklin sets up the screen. Morkowski makes the initial man miss, but eventually wrapped up. And center getting the stop. Trinity forced to punt once again.
So we're going to look there. Morkowski gets the ball there, but ultimately it's taken down big and hard.
Looked like Brennan Anthony, number 50, making the tackle there. The first year getting some time in this game. Jackson Runyon back to punt. We saw this last week. The one time Trinity did punt in that game, it was Runyon. Looks like him and Bope now sharing time in that role. Kind of a weird snap, and Runyon able to barely get it away. Takes a hop at the 20, and that's where it lands. But that could have been disastrous. Runyon had to take an extra second to reel that snap in. Barely got it away. Probably should have been blocked.
3 or 4 Colonels up in his face as he tried to punt. Barely got it out. Maybe, so you just kind of talked about that snap a little bit towards his shoulder, maybe his left-hand shoulder. They had to bring it down more and send it up before he had the opportunity.
Talked to Coach Urban about his punt protection as you see that again. Just had to take that extra second. That snap a little bit offline, and it nearly gets blocked. But he talked about his punt protection and how for years they've been setting up the punter 12 yards deep. Sees that other teams are starting to adapt to it. It works so well. Nearly didn't on that play. Goman rolling out on 1st down. Has a man who breaks free down the sideline. Lowers his shoulder. Out of bounds at the 43. Dant Bowling making his 2nd catch of the game, and a big gain for center to begin the drive.
Good, and then look at another look at it here. Goman does a good job, able to find his man. Had to roll out of the pocket. Not much pressure, more just a quarterback run on his man. And Delvin Gant did a good job, able to get there and stop him.
So Goman, who was held to 3 completions the entirety of that first half already, has 3 in this third quarter. Clock under 1:30 in the third. The give, but no positive momentum there as Trinity continues to rack up the TFLs.
I believe that was Priestmeyer in on that as well.
It usually is.
So far today, Priestmeyer really been dominating that as he's jumped the line a lot. TJ Scannell, Jaden Powell also jumping the line a lot, coming in to stop the run, as we talked about earlier. As we talked to the Trinity Tiger defensive coordinator, he's like, we won't let them run the ball ever.
Priestmeyer with 6 tackles for loss coming into this game. Adding up a few here today. Hunter trying to get some of that yardage back, able to stay on his feet for probably a little bit longer than he may have been expected to. Still behind the original line of scrimmage. Will set up 3rd down and 11 after the tackle by Wakil Mateen.
Tiger defensive unit really not letting a lot today, as so far the Colonels really just using the run game very heavily, which is a little bit, as we talked about a little bit today, a little bit odd considering how strong the Trinity run defense really is.
Third quarter winding down. Center does not have to snap it. The shot clock is off, so to speak. And that will take us to the 4th as we'll switch sides here in San Antonio. Trinity with their largest lead of the game. 17-7. Tigers with the lead as we'll take a break on Tiger Network.
You got it, sir.
Welcome back to the Alamo City. The sun has made an appearance as we begin the 4th quarter. Center with the ball at their own 42-yard line. 3rd down and 11. Trying to get this offense going down 10. Trinity brings a blitz. Goman lofts one, and it's intercepted by Cody Brown. Brown still in bounds and eventually scampers out in center territory at the 45. The first year making the play, his 2nd career interception.
Talked a lot about an impressive freshman so far this game. Cody Brown, another name on the list, as we see that right there. Goman just kind of lops it up. Double coverage. Cody Brown does a good job turning the shoulder and sees the ball, tracks it, gets it back. Cody Brown actually so far this season has had a pick 6 here in San Antonio in an earlier game. Did a very good job to stay up there as he was kind of stumbling, but saved himself the last second. Able to get a lot of extra yards.
Well, it looked like he did step out of bounds based on that replay, so the ball will be brought to the 34. Still the turnover. 2nd of the day forced by this Trinity defense. It looked like if Cody Brown didn't pick that off, Lucas Maureen was right behind him with his hands ready to go. Double coverage going for Blake Busend. 1st and 10 for the Tiger offense. Jack Kaiser trying to spin, but as has been the theme on both sides throughout the day, really not a lot happening in the run game.
Jack Kaiser, we saw earlier, had a very good run with a couple spins, 1 or 2. That time, though, that spin not quite working out as the Colonels led on quick and able to come in and take him down.
They call it a gain of 1, 2nd down and 9. I say not a lot happening in the run game on Trinity's side, except for Hondo Franklin, who has over 100 yards on the ground. In fact, that's probably the main thing that's been working for this Trinity offense so far. 2nd and 9. Kaiser, back-to-back carries for him. Lunges forward past the 40, down at the 41. Brings up 3rd down and 4.
See Kaiser's run one more time. Didn't have quite the big lane. Tried to make a couple cuts there, 1 or 2. Maybe able to get a couple extra yards off those cuts.
Another 3rd down for Trinity. Trying to make good off of the interception. Franklin quickly incomplete. Looked like some of the timing may be off between him and Trevino, and center forces a 3 and out after the interception.
Ryan Cobbs there, number 22, on coverage on Trevino. Kind of turned around, almost intercepted it more or less. Had his hands, had his back facing it. Just not quite able to get there in time. So we're going to look at it one more time. Hondo Franklin, not quite there in time. Maybe a little behind Trevino.
Was that pass tipped? Looked like it may have been redirected at the line. Tyson Bope into punt. The snap is good this time. The kick really high. And a fair catch called for at the 20. So Andrew, center offensively, they struggled a little bit last week in the second half. In fact, they scored all of their points, all 19 of them in the first half against Southwestern last week. They're riding 4 full quarters of being shut out offensively. What do they need to do to turn this around in order to get back into this game?
Well, as we kind of talked about a lot, well, you talked about a lot today, the run game on both sides of the ball, or both sides of the, field, not so successful for the Tigers or the Colonels. So, you would think they would have to start putting in more pass plays to try to get the ball further downfield.
1st down and 10 at the 20. So they will try and get this run game going with Hunter. And just not a lot there. Once again, you see the closing speed from this Trinity defense. So good in the run game.
Tigers do a very good job, just like on this play, coming in, really sending the house more or less the second they see a run, having multiple men on him and bring him down hard.
It's a rushing offense and center that we mentioned averages fewer than 70 yards per game on the ground, and a Trinity defense that only gives up just over 70 yards per game. First in the conference, 23rd in the country. Talking to Coach Paul Mahalik this week, their defensive coordinator said he really does not care about stats. I tried to bring up some to him, and he just wasn't having it. Says all about process, and that's part of it. Stop the run. Goman trying to throw this time towards the sideline. The catch is made and breaks a tackle. Still going past the 40-yard line. Dant Bowling once again making his presence felt, moving the chains for center.
Goman did a very good job. They're able to roll out the pocket as we're getting another look at here. Goman has a lot of pressure off to his right-hand side. A lot of Tigers coming. One chasing. Able to get that throw off. And Bowling does a very good job. Able to juke Jaden Powell out there as he made a cut around Cody Brown and tried to get forward on a couple extra yards.
Shout out to one of our SIDs, Garrett Landon, who said there'll probably be a lot of play action in the second half based on how much they tried to run the ball. We've seen that a lot in this half, particularly on that play. Here's a give. Blythe. And just again, not a lot happening. TJ Scannell making the tackle that time. Trinity's defense, without one of their best run stoppers, Steele Herndon, it looks like they're not really missing a beat defensively despite that.
One thing that, when you talk to any of the Trinity coaches brought up is the next man up mentality. These backups, these, third string players that come in, know the standard of play that here is at Trinity, and they're really stepping up today.
Next man up today has been Elijah Gonzalez, who's done more than hold his own in that position. They fake it. Trying to execute a little bit of a screen, does so successfully, diving forward past the 50. And looks like has enough for the first down. Travis Moffer there to make the play. Gain of 11 for him.
A good play there by Goman, able to find his man downfield. Had a lot of pressure in his face so far today. Both quarterbacks really having a lot of pressure on them. Both Goman and Hondo Franklin have done a good job dealing with it, though.
See that look from that sideline camera that we have introduced. Of course, the production staff here does such an unbelievable job. Ball spotted at the 27. Again, they try a bootleg. Goman throwing off his back foot, has a man wide open, and he will walk into the end zone for the touchdown. Exactly the spark that center needed. Luke Sasser puts center within a score.
We're going to see this one more time as Goman takes the snap here. He rolls out. He had a lot of pressure on him. You kind of see there a lot of confusion there as it looked like Justin Crockett may have fallen down. With Anthony Njoku also in coverage, just kind of a little bit of a mix-up there, leading to the score and the wide-open man.
Jack Kennedy on for his second extra point attempt. Got it, and this is a 3-point game. Center battling back here in San Antonio. They've cut the margin down to 3 as we'll take a break on Tiger Network.
Just a reminder, the Tigers return home 2 weeks from today, Saturday, November 8th, taking on Millsaps College at 1 p.m. This regular season home game. And this will be senior play.
Welcome back. 17-14. Trinity has the lead, but center has the momentum with that long touchdown to Luke Sasser. Tigers offense set to get the ball back. Kaiser returns it from inside his own 10. Going to the far sideline, has a lane. Kaiser spins and eventually dives forward just shy of the 40. A nice return on special teams.
The Colonels, though, did a very good job there with stuff Kaiser, as after the initial spin, a Colonel was right there to bring him hard down. Just need the replay of it here. Jack Kaiser takes the ball, just kind of comes downfield, makes a couple cuts, tries to go out to the left-hand side, not much there. Spun around, kind of spun down, and the Colonels just kind of jumped on him to make sure he's down hard.
Special teams has played a big part in this game so far. A couple of missed kicks on either side. Couple of big returns, including the big one for Ross on center side for a 90-yard touchdown. Franklin on first down, didn't see a man coming, able to get rid of the football in the direction of Huerta. Got absolutely rocked on that play.
Colonels, as we've kind of seen recently, really sending the house, really being aggressive with a lot of blitzes, a lot of pass rushers coming in from odd angles, as we see right there. Hondo Franklin didn't quite see the man. There's no blocker there at all as he came in and hit him. Nonetheless, Franklin almost got that to Zay Huerta.
Now 2nd down and 10, and I think Trinity will take that. That could have been a lot worse. They'll run it. Huerta makes a cut and stays on his feet going down the sideline, inside the 40, now towards the 30 where he's finally brought down. And finally an explosive run from Trinity on the ground, not from their quarterback.
It's definitely just what the Tigers needed right there as we see the handoff to Huerta. Huerta does a good job, finds a lane, cuts up, jukes a tackler or two, makes a little hop, and is able to use his speed and athleticism to get further downfield.
The big runs that they rely on There's a new quarterback into the game, Welker Horn, coming in. Ball at the 32. A give to Milo and just fell down. Couldn't tell if it was Horn's leg or the turf monster that got him. And now Hondo Franklin will check back into the game.
Looked to be maybe just Milo just kind of tripped up maybe as he got the handoff. I don't know if the handoff was clean or not. Just going to get a look at here. Clean handoff, more just like he was trying to get around Welker maybe and just kind of fell face forward in the turf.
Milo stays in the game, goes down as a loss of 3. They fake it to him. Franklin sets up the screen, but nobody blocked. Some center defenders. Sapone read it beautifully and meets Milo in the backfield.
Sapone's kind of been the do-it-all man here for the Colonels today. As we're going to look at here, Hondo Franklin tries to look for Johnny Milo there. Not able to get it to him, but Sapone saw it coming and able to get there and bring him down.
Sapone, who leads this team in pass breakups with 4. Has another one today, but also showing the impact he can make in other areas of the field. Now 3rd down and 17 after back-to-back negative plays for Trinity. Time for Franklin. Floats one down the sideline. Incomplete, going for Hancock. Looked like he had him. Not sure if the defender got a hand on that ball or not, if it just fell right through his hands. We'll have to see on the replay.
Getting a look at here. Tyson Hancock, defender did get a hand over it and brought it down. If he hadn't been there, though, Tyson Hancock could have got there.
And now Trinity forced a punt from inside the 40-yard line. Too long for a field goal attempt. And too far away to go for it on 4th and 17. So that weird situation. Opportunity to pin Rhodes inside the 10 as Runyon gets the short kick away. And the kick coverage there, making a resounding hit at the 15. Where center will take over with the football. 7:35 to go in this one. Only down 3 points. And Andrew, this is the moment that they were waiting for, that so many teams that come into San Antonio don't get the ball in the 4th quarter with a chance to take the lead.
With the chance to take the lead, you'd think they would have a very kind of short check down, short run, methodical sort of drive here. Try to take as much time off the clock as they possibly can.
First down and 10 from the 15. Jack Goman coming off of a long touchdown pass. We'll see if that gets him going. They'll start with a handoff. And not a lot happening once again on a first down run play for center. Hunter got the handle there.
It's really persevering of the Colonels to keep running the ball no matter how many times they get stuffed hard by the Tigers.
Second down and 10. Clock ticking down to 7 minutes. See how center decides to approach this drive. Another rollout. Goman trying to direct traffic downfield, but nobody open, and he throws it away.
Goman there under heavy pressure as he kind of rolled out of the pocket. A lot of Tigers were able to beat their man and trying to get in his face, try to force him to make a play there, and that time it was incomplete.
Third down and 10 after the run that got stopped at the line of scrimmage and then the incompletion that followed. 6:50 on the clock. We'll see if they try to get Goman outside of the pocket once again. That's where he's been the most successful. The senior who threw 3 touchdowns against Trinity in center's victory over the Tigers last season. Trying to find the hot hand. Trinity blitzing on 3rd down and 10. The quick throw and the catch made, but Crockett making the tackle. Able to get the completion, but Judson Crockett stopping him short of the line he needed to get. 4th down coming up.
You see right here, blitz. All the Tigers coming in, got there. Justin Crockett did a very good job, found him, came in hard, didn't give him any yardage really, maybe 1 or 2 on the play.
Damon Edwards, the tight end, making the catch, but needed more for the 1st down. 4 more to be exact. Center punting once again. Kaiser. Not a lot happening on this return. Still good field position for Trinity at the 42. Precarious situation for the center defense. 6:07. If Trinity scores a touchdown, you would think a comeback for center would be incredibly difficult.
One thing we've talked when we've talked to Urban or any of the coaches, is really focusing on kind of getting the 1st down and really making sure to keep the drive alive. So as we kind of talked about earlier with the Colonels, you would think they would have a very kind of slow, methodical drive, and not leave that much time on the clock.
1st and 10 at the 42. It's Huerta. Diving forward and ends up getting 4 out of that despite all the congestion up front.
Talked about it a lot today, but both Zay Huerta and Johnny Milo, very aggressive, very good backs that are very agile. They're able to, even with players on them, for example, right there, still fighting forward, trying to get some extra yards.
Clock now under 6 minutes to go. 2nd down and 7. Huerta the back once again. They give it to him again, trying to cut his way forward. Brought down at the 48. And now a big 3rd and 4 coming up. Referenced it earlier, Trinity, one of the best 3rd down teams in the country offensively. They're going to have to show that on this drive.
Zay Huerta at that time didn't really have a lane to go as Hondo Franklin kind of, handoff directed him towards the left-hand side, which is where all the Colonels and the Tigers were.
3rd down and 4. Probably the biggest snap of the game to this point. Who will Trinity turn to? They throw. Center. Blitzing. Franklin goes down. The center defense gets the sack. One they desperately needed, and their offense will get another chance with the football down 3.
Colonels did a very good job there, as we're going to get another look at it here. Had almost everybody blitzing and no blocker on him, able to come in, bring Franklin down. Franklin kind of caught off guard. As we've seen a lot of athletic plays from him so far when he had to roll out of the pocket. That time, though, Colonels able to get in there and bring him down.
Trinity will once again punt. Gets it away, a high spiraling kick. Will land at the 25 and take a nice Trinity roll inside the 20 down to the 19-yard line. So now Jack Goman will take the field once again. Last week it was center just hanging on to that lead that they had at halftime, barely beating Southwestern in a nail-biter. They find themselves in another close game, but on the other side of the scoreboard, down 3. 3:45 to go, trying to get something going. Both teams have all 3 timeouts. These 2 teams tied with 2 other teams for 2nd place in the SAA behind 3-0 Barry. Both 2-1 in conference. The winner maybe with a chance to hunt the Vikings down. They roll out. Goman, incomplete, able to make Ferris Rafai miss, who had him dead to rights. The incompletion is something they'll take on that play.
Both quarterbacks today, both Hondo Franklin and Goman, really been athletic, really made a lot of defenders, as you just said, miss. And so we get another look at it here. Goman does a good job, kind of rolls out of the pocket, has a Tiger, Ferris Rafai in his face, who's so far this season been incredibly solid. Had a lot of big defensive plays.
2nd down and 10. Center a little late getting to the line. The play clock already down to 5 seconds. Crowd making some noise. The give. Hunter, nowhere to go once again. Stopped behind the line for a loss of 1.
Tiger defense here really showing off how good they are. This is a big-time moment. Able to get in there and bring Hunter down again one more time.
Dorian Hill making the tackle. The clock's still running. You think center wants to have some urgency here. They can't get this. They're only maybe have a chance to get one more possession to try and tie this game. Clock now to 3 minutes. The loudest this alumni weekend crowd has been all day. Goman lofts one down the sideline and incomplete. Njoku in on the coverage along with Delvin Gant. Looked like they were going for Busen once again.
Busen, who's Goman's top target there that time, in double coverage as he tries to make it down the sideline. Delvin Gant actually solo on that coverage. They're able to get there and stop him. So far today, Delvin Gant's had a lot of very good coverage.
They get the kick away, a high one. Kaiser has to drift back to try and return it and hops out of bounds around the 30. Trinity getting the ball with 2:36 on the clock. Trying not to give center another chance with it. It's a run game that has been spotty at times today, but has gotten the job done. Trinity over 200 yards on the ground in total, most of that coming from Hondo Franklin, but in a large part on the ground, they've made the plays that they've needed to be in a position with a 3-point lead. Center with all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute timeout to work with here. Delayed give. Huerta trying to hesitate and wait for his hole to open up. Brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Or actually, he was able to escape and get a few yards out of that, but the flag has been brought down, and the indication is a face mask, and that would be a huge penalty on center.
Personal foul, face mask. Center number 31.
That's exactly what it is, a
penalty,
personal foul and
automatic
15
first
yards.
Gonna look at it here. Just a big sea of red and white as Shea Huerta tried to battle forward. Don't quite know where the face mask is.
You saw him grab it right at the beginning of that. Just latched on to the white face mask. Looked like Temes Kasai.
Center. It's their first time out of the second half.
And the ball will be brought up all the way to the 48-yard line. The good thing for center is that because of the penalty, the clock stops. So kind of a reset, as it were, in terms of trying to get the ball back. Just hurts them in terms of the field position. And we'll see the replay again. Just right there, grabbing the face mask. That's actually number 31, not number 41. It's Will Zabel, guilty of the face mask. And center actually did take a timeout. So based on them doing that, it looks like the clock would have kept running after the face mask. So they were forced to take a timeout to stop the clock, trying to do this on the front side of the 2-minute timeout.
Penalties so far this season for the Tigers, mostly really been, kind of agitating. We talked to Coach Urban, last week against Rhodes, there was a very good kick return. Now that was brought back by a penalty. And so far this season, they've kind of been plagued by penalties, having a lot in these games they've played so far.
We asked him about that historic performance, over 700 yards offensively, and he said, well, a lot of that was because of the hidden yardage we cost ourselves on special teams, the amount of good returns that the offense just got back, basically, and it went into their stats category instead of special teams. All they need is 10 yards here to ice this game away. Whistle blows, and a false start will back up the Tigers 5.
False start, Trinity number 6, 5-yard penalty.
These two programs, two of the best in this conference for a large amount of time. Trinity going for their 5th consecutive SAA title. Center has not had a losing season since 2004. Let's get a replay to see where the false start was.
False start's in be somewhere on the line.
Give to Huerta. Able to slip his way through some tackles, still pushing the pile, and it's still going forward. Zay Huerta all the way to the 46. Somehow able to get nearly 10 yards out of that.
Timeout. Center.
Zay Huerta there showing off why he's a very good running back as we get to look at here. Zay Huerta takes the snap, goes forward, battles through, pretty much no lane, just able to maybe get one blocker, maybe a little kind of able to slide through. And the Tigers come through and able to push him forward and keep him going there.
Center calling their second timeout as we get back to the SAA red zone portion of this program. Maryville, a dominating win over Southwestern. Can't see the scores of some of these other games, though we would assume that Barry is still winning, or they beat Millsaps. They did beat Millsaps. That game's gone final. A little ASC action in the bottom right corner. Howard Payne and Mary Hardin Baylor, who Trinity's very familiar with, having played them in the postseason a lot recently. So these two teams, two of the best teams in the SAA for several years running. Talked to Coach Urban about that. He said that success starts at the top. Commitment from the people in the alumni box right above us. 2nd down and 4. Franklin keeps it, and this time Center able to sniff it out. A couple of kernels there to make the stop. A loss of 1.
Timeout.
And it will set up a big 3rd and 5 to decide this game.
Hondo Franklin there, fake handoff. Didn't quite fool the Colonels and tried to get a lane, not quite a lane open, as there were 3 or 4 Colonels off the left-hand side. 2 ultimately came in to take him down there.
Ollie Carter making the tackle for Center on that play. So Andrew, 3rd down and 5 coming up. Center just took their last time out. If you get it, you win the game. Where are you going with this play?
Well, arguably speaking, you would have to put it in the air, you'd assume, considering these runs the Tigers have done these last few drives really haven't been going anywhere. We've kind of talked about, you've talked about a lot today, running on both sides of the offense, the Trinity Tigers and the Colonels really just haven't been working today all too well. So you'd think, Hondo Franklin would have, 3 receivers somewhere, maybe off to his left-hand side, or, probably 3 on his left-hand side, maybe Tavares on his right-hand side, if not another receiver, and he would just put it up.
Alejandro Tavares held to 4 catches for 28 yards and the 1 touchdown. We'll see if that's the direction they go on this play. Tavares to the top of your screen. 3rd down and 6. And a whistle. Timeout Trinity. They want more time to talk this over. That'll give us an opportunity to talk about what both coaches said when asked about how to sustain success in their programs. Coach Urban talking about how it all comes from the top, how you need commitment. Specifically referenced the stadium that they're playing in right now, the renovations that happened to it in 2020 before our time here, and how that really helped with the recruiting and getting people to come here. Coach Fry talking about 2 things. He said, 1, it's about recruiting. You have to be able to evaluate talent correctly and quickly. And the second thing he talked about was the importance of a team culture. Talked about the idea of building young men that you're going to send into the world. And I know from having past conversations with Coach Urban that this staff here at Trinity feels the exact same way, what the Trinity football man should be. The thing Coach Fry said to me that really stuck out was nobody's going to remember the score of a random Week 7 game. They're going to remember the type of people that you send into the world, and that's what these 2 programs are based on. Now a 3rd down and 6 to decide the game. They'll throw. Franklin, nowhere to go. Trying to escape and make something happen. Getting to the edge. Staying in bounds. Does he have enough? Looks like not quite. Hondo Franklin, originally the play looked like It was designed to go to his right, ended up going to his left and getting something out of it, but not quite enough.
Say one more time. I don't know if Franklin had to make a
2-minute
couple cuts
timeout.
there. Make a couple kernels miss as he kind of rolled out to his left-hand side. Tried to make something. Tried to stay in bounds. Just not quite enough.
And it looked like it could have very easily been a late hit on center there. As Franklin stepped out of bounds and got rocked on that play. We are at the 2-minute timeout with that play. 17-14. We can stick around and talk about the decision that Trinity's going to have to make. It looked like it will be around 4th down and 4. Andrew, what are you doing here? Are you going for it on 4th down, or are you sending the punt team out?
Well, looks like Coach Urban already made the decision for us as Jackson Runyon and the special teams are coming out here.
It will be Runyon to punt. And center's defense has done their job. It cost them all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute timeout, but they will have an opportunity with the football. Trinity punting from the center 45 with Runyon. Low snap. They get the kick away. And a very nice kick that will pin center at their own 8-yard line. So the moment we've been waiting for in this game. Senior quarterback Jack Goman. Coach Fry said, when Jack goes, we go. Trying to get him going on this drive. They need him to. 92 yards away from the end zone, but only needing a field goal to tie this game with 1:53 on the clock. First down and 10 from inside their own 10. Goman from his own end zone, trying to escape and able to barely get rid of it. Really nobody home. Crowd clamoring for a flag, and it looks like they might have a case for grounding depending on how far outside the tackle box he got.
We're going to see it one more time. Jackson Goman in his own end zone. A couple of Tigers on him as he throws it away. Can't quite see from the angle we have, but could be intentional grounding there, as it looked like his receiver is probably more than 10 yards away.
May have gotten outside the tackle box just enough. The official's giving it to him. You see from that look, no center receiver in the area. 2nd down and 10. Trinity blitzing. Goman goes down in the end zone. And that should all but do it. The safety to seal it for Trinity.
See it one more time, right behind Goman. Goman right there, doesn't quite see him, comes in hard. Looks like a combination of Tigers there.
Looked like Wolbedo getting most of it.
Priestmeyer also in the action there. And we see Cade Rabson, number 40, former Trinity defensive player there, getting pretty fired up about it.
The alumni are happy with this one. Wolbedo, if he gets credit for that sack, it's his 2nd sack for a safety this year. Had one against Southwestern a couple of weeks earlier. And that should all but do it. Southwestern will have to kick it back to Trinity, though they do have the option to do what kind of amounts to an onside safety kick. It's really their only hope in this one. Trinity up 19-14, a defense that has shown up all year. Top 20 in so many statistical categories across Division III football. 9th in pass defense, 20th in 3rd down percentage, 6th in red zone defense. The 6th total defense in the country came to play today and made the play on that drive. Jack Kennedy will kick. Onside attempt, fielded by Hancock, and that will do it. Trinity clinging to their 10-point second half lead. They end up winning this by 5.
Well, it's not quite over yet. Still about 2 minutes left on the clock. You'd think here that they're just going to come in, maybe a single run.
You would think
Probably
you could just
not.
take 3 kneels. So outside of a disastrous drop snap fumble that is somehow recovered by center, this game is over as the first kneel down. But what a win for Trinity. As we mentioned throughout the broadcast, it will set them up with maybe a chance, if Barry can't handle their business, to catch them for top of the conference. And this was arguably Trinity's toughest test of the year, them and then maybe Maryville in the last game of the season.
It's definitely been the most exciting home game we've had, and the opportunity to commentate this has been truly delightful this afternoon.
Center, a team that wasn't happy with the way that they played last week against Southwestern, came to play today, particularly defensively, holding Trinity to 19 points on the scoreboard. Something that only Barry has done this season when Trinity fell 29-6 in the home of the Vikings. Clock goes under 40 seconds, so one more snap should do it here in San Antonio. Center battled hard, but today belongs to the Trinity Tigers. They will win this one, 19-14.
Let's get a look at Coach Urban there, who seems to be somewhat pleased with this win today, as it was a dominating win. This we talked about earlier. There's a 4-way tie coming into this game in the SAAA, with Trinity and Center both being a part of that 4-way tie for second place. Now today, Trinity taking this win and kind of more or less dominating this game. As you see the stats on our yard, 389 yards, 34 minutes possession, which is also a big indicator of how dominant this Tiger team is.
Saw Coach Urban and Coach Fry there shaking hands. Two men that share so much respect for what the other has built at their program, having to play each other once a year. As you see highlights throughout the day. It was an interesting game, as you said, Andrew. Trinity really dominating a lot of this football game, outgaining Center by as much as they did. Yet Center, to their credit, just hung in there, and they made the plays when they needed to give themselves a chance. But ultimately, the Tigers did the same on that final drive. Wobodo with the safety to close it out.
This game really just been a defensive battle on both sides of the ball. The Colonels really showing off a strong, as you kind of talked about, really strong kind of atmosphere on the defensive side of things. They had this one interception against Hondo Franklin earlier in the day. And they had a lot of, very good stops on fourth down, in the goal line, one of them. And for the Tigers, defensively, really just dominating the game, not really allowing the Colonels to even really do much.
A lot of teams we've seen put up a fight in the first half against these Trinity Tigers, but then the dam eventually breaks and they get blown out. That did not happen here with Center, who came to play. The team will line up for the alma mater, which they do after every victory. We'll let you take it all in. Was the alma mater as Trinity takes the win 19-14. With that, we are done in San Antonio. Thank you to everybody who put this broadcast together, all of the people working behind the scenes so hard as they do every Saturday for every home game for Trinity football. Everybody working cameras, and our executive producer, Josh Muchagemba, who puts it all together really nicely. Also, a special shout out to Peyton Tebow, who worked that sideline cam that you saw throughout the game. For everybody here and my partner, Andrew Thomas, I'm Cole Isaacson saying so long from San Antonio. We hope to see you for the final home game of the season on November 8th.
Every morning, we rise, ready to meet our human potential, to take that next incremental step, to do the hard work that changes. Set in our preparedness and confidence in that moment when you know, I've got this. And then we rise. Each of us, all of us. We rise as passions coalesce in research, art, athletics, and beyond. We rise to the challenge of inquiry and discovery through undergraduate research and hands-on learning. We rise through the personal attention of a small college fueled by large university resources. We rise to the need for listening across differences, teaching the art and the act of conversation. We rise to the sounds of a vibrant, diverse, and culturally rich city, and we reflect it. At Trinity University, we recognize that you are here because you are ready to rise. And through a love of learning and a life of learning, we will challenge you to always reach beyond the horizon. Because your future awaits.
In this